Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tom and Mike, AM and the PM, live, only on A2DRadio.com. I am your host this evening, Mike Mataraki. Mr. Arnone is on a little vacation with the family. Rob Povia on the other side of the glass. Joining me tonight on the microphones are Sean Redden. Mr. Redden, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Good.
Playing.
Good. And our special in-studio guest joining us again this week, the infamous Eagles Twitter Award winner, Nightman Dan. Dan, how you doing tonight, brother?
No, I've been better.
It seems to be the prevailing theme for the week.
Yeah.
But, hey, listen, we know that everybody's got a lot of real heavy shit that they're dealing with right now, a lot of political stuff, a lot of other things. So we're going to keep it light. No politics on this show tonight. We are going 100% Philadelphia Eagles. And we're coming to you live from the BMW of Atlantic City studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. BMW of Atlantic City has challenged its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, Lisa certified pre-owned elite 2016 BMW 325i xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience, closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get to. Minutes off of exit 37 of the Garden State Parkway. Or visit them online of bmwatlanticcity.com. And of course, brought to you every Wednesday night by our good friends at Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants. Tax season's right around the corner, guys. Give them a call, 215-369-3300. Stop in at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, Pennsylvania, or visit them online at gibsonmayer.com. And it's funny, when I went up to the Giants game on Sunday, was actually up there tailgating with Jim Gibson and John Mayer and a bunch of New York City and North Jersey firemen and a bunch of real good guys. I'll tell you what, John Mayer, for a Giants fan, that dude can sling some French toast, man. He's got a grill that he rolls out, and it's basically like 2.5 feet long, and the whole thing is just a griddle top. There's no actual like grill grates to it. Almost kind of like along the lines of what you would see like behind like the counter at like a luncheonette, like old school style. So he sets this thing up. He hooks the propane up to it, turns on the propane. He takes like half a thing of Crisco, just drops it on there, lets it melt, and then all of a sudden he's slinging like ham and French toast off of this thing, and I'm like, damn, I thought my French toast at Eagles tailgates was good. He hooked it up. But it's a little segue into our Eagles-Giants conversation, and that's going to be brought to you by our good friends over at Sports Outlet for all of your sporting needs. 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-939-2030, or visit them on the web at sportsoutletinc.com. Robbie, that's 3 reads in 3 minutes. We are cooking with Crisco tonight, pun intended.
That's how you get it done.
That's how we roll. So,
Sponsors, I'm sure they appreciate it.
Gentlemen, I was there, so I'm gonna let you guys kind of delve into some of the conversation because I can tell you what I saw from where I was sitting, but obviously with it being an away game, you guys had the advantage of TV, replays, commentary, stuff like that. So, I mean, I'll just throw out a big open-ended question, like, bottom line, what happened? I mean, well, Danny, I'll start with you, brother. Like, why does our quarterback, at least over the last few weeks, seem to, like, either need to throw a couple of interceptions or need to get his head taken off before he's in the flow of the game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sean's like, yep, yep.
He's rattled the start, and he puts us in big holes that are hard to come out of. You know, he's got to be better than that. You know, I understand it's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's going to go through growing pains. But he can't put us in those holes by trying to force plays.
Do you think he's rattled, or do you think he's just trying to do too much out of the gate?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think he gets the nerves going. I think he's ready to go. And then I think he just tries to make plays because he knows that the talent around him is subpar. To say the least, right?
I was going to say.
That's being generous.
I don't even know if I can counterpoint you there.
No, I'm in the complete agreement with you, Mike. I mean, everybody talks about, Wentz is showing his mental toughness and all that, bringing us back. He's had that never quit attitude. Well, how the hell we get there in the first place? I mean, this kid, I'm all for slinging, and I know he's working with high school receivers out there.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad when your only two playmakers, consistent playmakers on offense, is a 23-year-old rookie quarterback and a 33-year-old rotational running back.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. We've talked about it on air and off air multiple times. You guys saw it last week. Bryce Tregg is going to get more and more time going forward.
Oh, that's my FanDuel sleeper of the week.
FanDuel sleeper of the week. He's giving it away early, ladies and gentlemen.
He's like 4,300 on there.
You see now how we have someone that could take off the top. And
And you notice we only did that once.
Yeah. But the threat of having him on the field opened
up Ertz. Yep, 100%.
Well, right, but here's the problem, and this might be the one spot where being there, I kind of had a look that you guys didn't have. Was so the first time they brought him into the game, they were actually already on the north side of the 50, and they're driving, and they ran him up the field, and he was a good 30 yards up the field, and Wentz started scrambling. He hit the brakes, turned around, and if the play happened right in front of us.
The catch on the sideline?
He literally ran right back up the sideline, which I understand that you can teach that, but this is literally his first play on the field, and he bails Wentz out.
Yeah.
That's got like Deshaun written all over it. So immediately right there, you're seeing that the kid's got some instinct. Well, then he doesn't get on the field again for a while. Then, he's on the field, and he's basically a decoy. Mm-hmm. That they come out in the second half, and they actually snuck him onto the field during a timeout. And I said to my buddy that I was at the game with, I said, "Watch this." I said the Eagles were getting ready to break the huddle. There was a timeout, so they ran Treggs onto the field during the timeout. I said, "I guarantee you, first play they're going play action and they're going to load up." And sure enough, that's what they did, and they hit him down the field. After that, every single time he was on the field, they were rolling a safety over the top. So, it's got to be a situation now where, this kid, in his entire career, he's had 4 targets. Mm-hmm. They can't double him on every play, can they?
No, but even if they do, if they want to take the threat away from if you literally just want to take away the deep threat, like Dan's point, you saw Ertz show his face for the first time since week 1.
And he broke a tackle, almost had a heart attack.
And then it opened up, and I also want to see the running backs more in the passing game too, with that side of the field opening up now. But I think Treggs is a guy, he was an added dimension that was missing.
Yeah.
All year, and now, but Wentz has to be smart enough to not force it to him and settle for the Ertz and the Matthews across the middle.
Yeah. It's a shame that Carson underthrew him a little bit because
that would have been a touchdown.
If he hits him in stride, he's gone. Yeah, I agree.
But then again, the guy did just slap his heel.
Yeah, but you could tell how fired up he was after he caught that, and I was fired up too. I was like, "Thank you, finally."
Yeah, Carson Wentz,
a receiver that catches the ball.
Carson Wentz has a gun.
He does.
The one problem that I had with that pattern is that he basically waited a second too long before he let it go. Mm-hmm. If he just lets that go with more air under it and just lets him run under it, he's not going to overthrow the kid.
I think he rolled to his left, and then he looked downfield, was like, holy shit, a receiver has separation. So then he was a little gun shy for his seeing things.
I don't know what to do.
Well, let's go back to the point, though, that you guys were making about Zach Ertz, and we'll talk about the tight ends in total. You had, between Zach Ertz and Trey Burton, you had 11 targets, 11 receptions for 138 yards.
Yeah.
And they're essentially the same player, Ertz and Burton, the same type of game. Neither one of them is going to be real key in the blocking game. But when you saw Trey Burton, if he's able to tiptoe that sideline, he's going for a long touchdown. So having 2 guys like that, plus you add Matthews across the middle, if Treggs is able to do his thing, this Eagles offense is going to be able to do some things it hasn't been all year.
Yeah, and then we're just missing that one receiver, that game-changing type of receiver. And that's all we need to complete this. Not to complete the wide receiving core, in my opinion. Because
just to be respectable.
Yeah. Well, those type of receivers will make Jordan Matthews' games better.
100%.
Zach Ertz games better. They'll all work off each other.
Well, let's talk about the Josh Huff and Bryce Treggs thing for a minute here, and then I want to come back to Carson Wentz. Are you willing at this point, obviously, a certain degree of hindsight being 2020, are you willing to make that trade? Because that's essentially what's happening right now. Is you're trading the skills for Josh Huff, which who you've cut, for the skills of Bryce Treggs. Is that a trade-off that you're willing to make right now with this offense?
100%, because I think Josh Huff has a skill set. I just think he was underutilized here. I mean, I don't think Chip Kelly didn't know how to do it. Doug P, he started to, but didn't really know how to use him. But I think and Treggs' game is similar to Huff. I think Treggs is a little faster.
Well, I think
all that.
Yeah, I think Huff probably has a little more power where he could, in space, he's more likely to break a tackle, where Treggs is more likely to just accelerate through the space.
But I think the biggest difference with them is effort. Like, when I heard before the game, I immediately fell in love with Bryce Treggs. He didn't even have to catch a pass Sunday. I heard him say to John Clark, he was like, what are your expectations going into your first game? He said, I'm just going to run 100 miles per hour and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I love that guy is going to go balls to the wall and give you everything he's got on every play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we know how I feel about Josh Huff. I do like him as a special teams player, but I do think that our special teams is good enough to replace him where we won't really
Smallwood showed the ability to do that, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that I think that Treggs and Josh Huff don't have in common is that instinct that you were talking about. How he had the wherewithal to come back when he saw that his quarterback was scrambling out. Mm-hmm. I don't think Josh Huff has that kind of capability, and he doesn't have the type of speed to take it off the top. You try to find ways to get Josh Huff in games, and sometimes you can't. I mean, sometimes you can, but most of the times you can't.
Well, and it's interesting too that a lot of people are like, "Oh, there's Bryce Treggs. Was he on the practice squad? I mean, like, where'd they get him or whatever?" And it's like, no, he's not a practice squad guy. They signed him at the end of training camp. Mm-hmm. He got cut by the Niners. He's been on the roster for the entire season. He just hasn't been active yet.
Yeah.
But it's almost a situation, and Danny, it kind of works with what you were saying is, was Josh Huff a product of the Chip Kelly offense, and Doug Peterson kind of used him in some similar ways, whereas Bryce Treggs is more of the traditional speed wide receiver, and maybe everyone's like, oh, well, if Chip cut him, he must not be very good, but maybe he's just not a fit for that offense. But here, where you've got a quarterback that can throw it 70 yards, maybe he is.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm happy that he's here. I want to see him get utilized more, and that's about it. I'm happy with
him. Yeah, because you could see where his game, he's kind of a smaller receiver, and Chip tends to throws the short passes. He looks for his receivers to block more, right. And Treggs probably not a fit for that type of offense.
No, I mean, it's definitely going to be a situation when Treggs is in the game, it's going to be a passing play. I mean, they're not going to ask him to block downfield. There's not going to be any razzle dazzle. I mean, it's going to be a passing play. But let's go back to the quarterback for a minute. I mean, you're basically in a hole, 14-0, 3 minutes into the game, and statistically, if you go back and you look at the game as a whole, and I'll give it to you right here because I have the actual NFL PDF game book, whatever you want to call it, up here. The Giants had 16 first downs for the entire game. They only had 302 yards of offense.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham, the game breaker that he's supposed to be, 4 for 46 on 10 targets, 4 for 46.
2 touchdowns though.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard, he was 3 for 50. You had Roger Lewis Jr., who it was like the Giants version of Treggs, who had never seen the field. He goes 1 for 30, but it's a touchdown. Victor Cruz is 1 for 46. I mean, it was like the Eagles' defense, to me, was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was like a situation where if the Giants didn't have the short field, they weren't doing anything, but at the same time, the Eagles were giving up the big play. So, interesting.
Well, apparently the people out there are drinking your Kool-Aid, gentlemen, what you're talking about. We have a
What do you
couple
got?
people chiming in on YouTube. We got Football Fan chiming in saying, all week analysts were trying to make it known that the last pass to Matthews was Wentz's fault. Maybe so, but the scrub once again had a chance to make a play and once again falls to the soil and comes up empty-handed. I don't want to hear another idiot say J-Matt is a second or third receiver. He's not. He makes one good play every now and then. It's pretty disgraceful when retired players are willing to come back to help the Eagles. These receivers should be ashamed of themselves. I'm so sick of seeing these scrubs. This draft is so crucial to the future O-line receivers, corners, and kind of leaves it.
The whole freaking team.
Yeah. He's ready to trade the whole team. But, yeah, I just want to chime in, talking about, like, moving on to Wentz and, where the fault really lies. Where does that comment land in you guys, John?
Well, that play, if you're looking at it from a football standpoint, execution-wise, it is Wentz's fault. Because Doug P. did come out after the game and say the ball was supposed to be on the inside. But if you're in the middle of a game and you're actually using your football IQ, Wentz made the right decision because the defender and the safety was inside. So Wentz put the ball where only his receiver could make a play on it. Matthews just isn't capable of adjusting to the ball like that. And you saw that's what the result was. To me, it looked like identical to the play in Cleveland. I mean, to the play against Cleveland, week 1. But
No, that's exactly it. I mean, he threw it in almost the exact same spot, just to the other sideline. Mm-hmm. I mean, conceptually, a good wide receiver allows his quarterback to throw him open. Mm-hmm. Now, did Matthews run the correct pattern? Yes, he did. Was the throw supposed to be to the inside? Yes, it was. But if the quarterback looks and he sees that the defense is plastering on the inside, but he can take a shot over that outside shoulder and hope that the wide receiver can either get his head around or he can make that acrobatic sort of twisting, looking over one shoulder and pulling it in over the other type of catch. Like, I don't put that on Wentz.
No, Matthews should have. You're a veteran in this league. You got to recognize that, and you can walk into the end zone.
Yeah, you have to be able to recognize where the coverage is and move away from the defender.
But here's the thing. I agree with the YouTube comment. I just don't even expect them to do that. They just don't have the talent. I've never seen J-Matt be able to read the ball, turn his body, keep his head on a swivel, and make it like a very nice catch.
You're spot on.
They just don't have the talent. So that's why I'm almost apathetic watching the games because I'm just watching the ball hit off their hands. Them not running the right routes. DGB's so lazy.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm
God.
ready to sit DGB down and give Paul Turner a shot.
Might as well.
You saw Trags.
That's interesting.
You saw Trags come out. You need somebody. You need somebody with fire that's going to come in here and light a fire. Not to just keep harping on the word fire, but to light a fire under somebody's ass and realize your job's not safe.
Yeah, when I saw that he DGB was 5 yards away. Carson overthrew him a bit, but it's not even like he tried to go get it. And I'm just that's why Tennessee was willing to give him up.
Yeah, that's why you got traded for Dennis Kelly.
Yeah.
Common Sense chimes in on YouTube. Maybe he has a solution. He says maybe they should start CW11, as he's calling him. I like that. Running up-tempo to start the game so that kind of gets a little bit more comfortable. He gets a little more comfortable.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I feel like that's kind of what they did to start the year against Cleveland. Just had him come out, bang, 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 get him in a rhythm. And you saw the rest of the game flowed after that.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember the very first time we saw him in an Eagles uniform in the preseason against Tampa Bay, they brought him out the first time he hit the field was a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
The end of the first half of that Tampa Bay game. Interesting, though, that the whole thing with DGB came up because I actually heard an interview on SiriusXM on Monday. It would have been Monday. It would have been the day after the game with Dave Spadaro. And everyone has their opinions about Spadaro. We know he works for the team. He's a talking head, and it is what it is. But Spadaro had some really interesting things to say about DGB. He openly admitted guy's not playing up to his potential, which, Spadaro usually will toss some softballs out there and say, oh, it's the play calling, it's this, it's that. Spadaro was pretty straight up about it. He said he's not playing up to his potential, and one of the things that the Eagles coaching staff is learning about him is that he's never been coached the right way. Is that he's always been either the biggest or the fastest or the only option, and everything has always just been run straight. We're going to throw it up, you go get it. Or you run a slant, and we're going to hit you in the breadbasket. He was never taught how to get off the line, how to beat press coverage, how to adjust his route to the coverage.
How to use his frame.
Yeah, exactly. But Danny, you're spot on. How to use his frame and box a guy out. And apparently the Eagles coaching staff thinks that this guy's got all the talent in the world, but they basically have to take him and break him down to nothing and coach him all the way back up again, all while you're trying to use him during games. So
I mean, you can see he has a talent though, because he flashes it every now and then. Like, he'll catch a slant, break a tackle, and then run for 15, or he'll go down the field and you can see him boxing a defender out. But it's just I feel like he don't know what he is.
He's strong as hell, man. He stiff-armed the soul out of that Lions linebacker.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the type of play I'm talking about. You see
and that's
the
why it's so
flashes of what he
frustrating.
could be, and then it's just like, if you could just get it in your head, what the hell you are, 6'5", like you're a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Bully people out there.
He walked right by me on the field before the game, and I swear to God, he was like blocking out the sun. The guy was ridiculous. But you look at the last two games, 4 drops against Dallas, and against the Giants, 5 targets, no receptions. I mean, that's...
But the thing I have a bigger problem with the Giants game than I do with the Dallas game with him, because Sunday he just looked uninterested.
Yeah.
Like, he just looked like he didn't even want to be out there.
Wasn't that the knock against him in Tennessee, that at times he just felt like he was completely disinterested?
Mm-hmm.
So...
That's all I ask, guys. I don't expect you to make every play, even though you should, because you're a professional.
Yeah.
But just give me effort.
And
if I see you're trying, I'm willing to accept the fact that unless you're Nelson Aguilar, you just bitch about it. I just respect effort out of guys. That's all I want.
Yeah, and just be a football player. Like, Zach Ertz had a great game. He really did. But when he slid in between those two defenders to avoid contact, I was taken back. I was like, yo, why do you play football, dude? Lay your head down and run them over. What are you doing? It just seems like sometimes that these players just don't even want to play.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I know sometimes guys would rather not take the contact, get up and run the next play right away, as opposed to, I'm going to take a shot here, and if it hurts, I'm going to be on the sideline for 3 plays.
I know he's so much. He's bigger than them too. Just,
I agree. I agree with you.
When you do that type of stuff, and say he runs him over, that fires up your sideline. That fires up everyone else.
I agree completely.
Maybe it's a different game.
And you may very well be right. So I know we're up against a break here, but let's come back and kind of try to tie a bow around the Carson Wentz thing real quick. I mean, is this a situation, though, where they need to do something different at the beginning of the game, whether it is go to the hurry up or give the other team the ball first or something to get him more into the flow of the game? Or are we just going to attribute this to the fact that he's got no talent at receiver?
Well, I'm always going to take the ball in the second half. I do agree that they should.
The Tecmo Bowl advantage. Anybody who ever played it as a little kid knows the Tecmo Bowl advantage.
But, yeah, he doesn't have talent. We all know that. But they got to do something different. I would want them to start the tempo out fast to begin the game. Get the kid in get a kid in rhythm, get his confidence up. And then if they go down the field and score right away, he's locked in.
Okay.
No, I agree. Well, yeah, I'm with Dan. You always take the ball in the second half. But I like that thing. You got to do something. Get the kid in rhythm. And because you know he has no talent, and I'm attribute his mistakes. A lot has to do with that. But you got to do something. You, as a coaching staff, you know that. You got to coach to the best of your abilities to put him in a position to help him succeed.
Interesting. Good stuff, guys. So we're gonna hit a break here. When we come back, we're gonna take this Giants discussion and talk about what we saw in the Giants game and what we have to do differently to beat an Atlanta Falcons team that's averaging 34 points a game. We're also going to get into our Twitter question. Can the Eagles stop the Falcons duo of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones? All that and more coming up after the break. You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM and the PM, only on A2D Radio.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Welcome back to Tom and Mike, AM and the PM, only on A2DRadio.com. My name is Mike Mataraki, Rob Povia on the other side of the glass, Sean Redden, Nightman Dan. Mr. Arnone is on vacation. Gentlemen, you'll be glad to know that I just received a text from Mr. Arnone.
Uh-oh.
Said, gentlemen, I'm not going to be able to call in tonight. No need for me to join the party, though. Have a blast. By the way, Nails Lock of the Week. And you know what happens when he gives a Nails Lock of the Week. Eagles are beating the Falcons. Interesting. So that's a pretty neat little segue into our Twitter question for the evening, brought to you by the good folks at Scanzano Sports Center, 5 Carnegie Plaza, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call, 856-889-3434. Or visit them on the web at scanzanosports.com. You want indoor batting cages, indoor pitching mounds, a full workout area, private lessons, anything. John Scanzano and his crew have it all. Gentlemen, the Twitter question, and we'll throw this out to the audience. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter at A2DRadio_com. Can the Eagles shut down the combination of Atlanta Falcons QB Matt Ryan and wide receiver Julio Jones? Pretty simple. Yes or no? It really is a yes-no question. So, Danny, I'm going to come to you right out of the gate. Yes or no?
No. No, you can't beat them.
Oh,
you got to only hope to contain them.
All righty then, Mr. Redden.
Can the Eagles stop Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu?
I asked about Mohamed Sanu. I want Matt Ryan.
Oh, Matt Ryan.
The combination, Matty
I
Ice
thought it
and
was the
Julio.
receiver combo.
No, Mohamed Sanu is so hit or miss. It's, depending
Against Nolan Carroll, everybody's pretty much a hit.
depending on what side of the bed he wakes up on.
All right, but can they stop Matt Ryan or stop him?
And Julio. That's the combination.
Is water dry?
Not so much.
Then I don't think they're getting it done against Matty Ryan. I just hope, because last year they did a fairly good job,
right,
week 1 of just containing them, and they were in position to win the game.
Right.
I'm just hoping for the same result this year. Just give defense, given we're upgraded in the defense, but Matt Ryan's a different quarterback than he's been.
Agreed. Mr. Povia.
I think they could take Julio out of the game. You know, he's still hampered with a little bit of the calf issue, the ankle issue. I respect your guys' safeties enough to be able to double him up, but Matty Ryan's going to find somebody else that can beat
And
you.
you know who actually worries me this week more than Julio Jones?
Devontae
Freeman.
Yep.
Just because of that pass catching ability out of the backfield. Not only did you you didn't stop him, but you contained Zeke on the ground. But then he hurt you with big plays in the passing game, and that kind of scares me when you're going to have Michael Kendricks covering him.
And with Tevin Coleman out this week, again, presumably, he hasn't been ruled out, but he hasn't practiced yet this week. Devontae's going to get a lot of looks.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Rob, I think you said you had some feedback on on the book and on the Twitter machine from our friends about the Twitter question.
A lot of you guys put up a good question because a lot of people chiming in. One thing I will quickly say, too, Matt Ryan could make a star out of a guy like Taylor Gabriel in this game. He's that type of quarterback that will identify the open receiver and burn you. Nikki Jules chimes in on the Facebook. Absolutely not. Unless we get the pressure up front, that's the only thing that makes up for a bad secondary. I'm available for a one-day contract, by the way.
Nikki
Just saying.
Jules.
I will say this, though. I've been playing pickup with Jules pretty much once a week the past couple months. He's a lockdown safety. He is a lockdown safety.
Nice. Justin Hart chimes in, simple, no. And I know you wanted to keep politics out of the way, but Scotty Too Hotty, guy that always chimes in on YouTube, give him some love. He goes, does this game even matter? Especially with the election taking place. The Eagles don't deserve my attention this week, especially with two awful losses to the teams we hate the most. Then he chimes in, I guess this is his party allegiance. Trump 2016, the kingdom of darkness has been trumped. Praise the Lord, rejoice.
You know what, Scotty? I'm not even going to address the political aspect. If you can't pull yourself away from CNN for 3 hours on Sunday to enjoy a little bit of football and pull yourself away from the bullshit drama, you take the stick out of your ass, dude. For real.
Yeah, I would like to get away from reality for a little bit.
Yeah,
what
it's
we're
in my
here for.
opinion, my priority list. It's whoever the hell, whatever puppet is running this country is way far down on the scale than the Eagles.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that there's greater things that happen in this world than
Yes.
Eagles football. Not for 3 hours on Sunday afternoon.
No.
It's just how we roll.
Agreed.
Sorry, boys. Had to take a little sip of some fluid
A little
there.
wet the whistle.
But so I'm actually going the other way on this. I think they can stop him, and in fact, I think they will stop him. I think the problem is they're going to have to do so much to stop Julio. They're going to leave themselves exposed in other places. I think the way that you beat the Atlanta Falcons is you either give Julio everything and shut down everyone else, or you roll everything to Julio and take your chances that you're not going to get beat by a Devontae Freeman or a Mohamed Sanu or the tight end of the week, whichever one they're throwing out there, given, Jacob Tammy's hurt, Toilolo, maybe he goes 6 for 80, maybe he doesn't show up. I know they have another rookie tight end, and I'm completely blanking on his name right now, but he's a FanDuel darling this week. So it's interesting. So do I think the Eagles shut down the combination of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones? I'm going to say yes. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to see a lot of Jalen Mills with Rodney McLeod over the top.
Mike, you talking Austin Hooper?
Yes, thanks, Rob. Appreciate you, brother. Austin Hooper, that's the name. So, Danny, I want to come to you and give me 3 things based on what you saw against the Giants and what you know about the Falcons. Give me 3 things the Eagles have to do differently against the Falcons to win the game.
Well, my boy Benny Logan's back.
Okay.
So we need to get pressure on Matt Ryan. Okay, we need to hit him often and early. I would like some blitzes out of Jim Schwartz and set the tone early. Throw him off his game.
Okay.
All right? I need Carson Wentz to start playing like he does in the second, third, and fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Like, get off to a quick start to get yourself in a rhythm, get the momentum, get the crowd into it, get your teammates all into it. And I need the coach to stop being an idiot sometimes. All right? I need him to take the points when he needs to take the points.
No, I hear you.
And I need him to not be so risky to the point where you look like a psychopath.
Let me ask you a question, though, and that's interesting. And I know, Sean, you want to touch on this a little bit, too, so I don't want to step on you there. But do you really have a problem with, like, brass balls dug, or is it just you're good with the willingness to go for it, you just don't necessarily like the play calls or the personnel package?
You got to know the situation, all right? When you're down 14 points, you take the points to get yourself back in the game. The second time, all right, I'm good with going for it, but don't run a design play with Carson Wentz having J-Map try to chip block JPP off the edge. Come on, man.
Yeah,
you got to be a little bit smarter than that. And then the 4th and 9, I'm staring at my TV and I'm just like, oh my God, he's completely lost his mind. And they converted that one, of course, but like you got to know the situation. That's all I'm saying.
No, I completely agree with Dan. You got to know the situation. When you're down 14, take the points, chip away. And, I mean, everything's better in hindsight. If he takes the points, Eagles win the ball game on Sunday. But then when he kept going forward even deeper into the second half, I told you guys off air before the show started, I was watching it, and he looked like a gambler who was sweating because he was down so much that he was just playing games that he had no business playing, trying to chase and catch his money up. That's what he reminded me of.
That's really interesting. Really, I love that analogy because I don't think it's 100% spot on all the time, but in that situation, yes, absolutely. It was almost like he recognized that there were mistakes that he made earlier in the game, and he was then trying to dig himself out of that hole. So, Sean, 3 things from you that they need to do differently or better than they did in the Giants game to be able to beat the Falcons.
One, I think Jordan Hicks has to show up. Devontae Freeman, one of the better backs in the league. You got to contain him. You can't let him go off and Julio or one of the receivers. You got to limit Devontae Freeman on the ground. Especially you got Benny Logan back. That's a huge boost. But I need Jordan Hicks to show up this week. I think offensively you got to air it out. The Falcons have one of the worst secondaries in the league outside of Trufant, who's a pretty good corner. But you got to get Treggs involved. You got to get DGB has to show up. You got to air it out. Enough with these screen passes. Take advantage of a weak secondary. Let Carson get his feet under him early, and then let him go to work. And then third, you got to stop shooting yourself in the foot with penalties. You got to be disciplined. You're at home. Use the crowd to your advantage. Let the Falcons make the mistakes, not you.
Interesting. Good stuff. Real good stuff. So, Danny, I know you got to bounce during our commercial break. So before we get you out of here, give me a prediction.
Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, God damn it! What are you doing over there? Come on, man.
I think that the Eagles can win this game, and call it whatever. I think Vegas is telling you a little bit something. And
well, what's the line telling you?
Yeah, it's an Eagles line, and I think that they have like some sort of home field advantage now. I think that's kind of back. I'm looking for the crowd to really be into it. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 28. No, I'm going to go 35-28.
I like it. I like it.
Eagles.
35-28. Mr. Redden, you got a prediction?
Yeah, I got a prediction. I know Tom Arnone just said it's his lock of the week. Same thing he did with the Vikings. But until I see some improvement out of this play calling and see that we actually have a receiver on this team, I cannot pick the Eagles, especially against one of the better teams in the NFC. And I feel like every week I pick the Eagles, they lose. So now I'm going to try to reverse the curse.
Reverse the curse.
I just got to pick them every week.
I'm taking the Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons. Like Dan said, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to take the Falcons 31-28.
Okay, cool. So listen, we're going to take one more quick break. We'll come back. I'll give you my 3. Robbie will do your contributions if you have some thoughts on that. We'll both give predictions closing thoughts, and we'll wrap it up and get out of here. You are listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. Located 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all your sporting needs. The Sports Outlet.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
And we're back. Tom and Mike, AM in the PM on A2DRadio.com. Mr. Arnone is on a little vacation this evening. Nightman Dan was with us. He had to bounce out. Mike Mataraki, Sean Redden, Rob Povia on the ones and twos. Going to do one final segment here before we get out of here for the night. As always, want to thank our sponsor, Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants, 301 Oxford Valley Road, Yardley, PA. Give them a call, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web, gibsonmayer.com. So, Sean, real quick before I dig into my stuff here. So, what is this relationship that you have or don't have with the Nails Lock of the Week and reversing the curse? Are you really superstitious about that?
Well, no. I said they had no shot at beating the Vikings.
Right.
And Tom was gung-ho.
He was
on it.
All over that.
He was on it. They won. Then I picked them to beat the Giants and Cowboys back-to-back weeks. They've lost. So now I'm picking them to lose, hoping that Tom's nail of the week is working again. I'm just going to stick with what's working, and I'm going to take them to lose.
Nice. That's a riot.
I'll take a personal L if the Eagles get a W.
You'll trade an L.
Team player.
You'll trade an L for a W any day.
Yeah.
All right. So my three things are interesting because I mean I loved what you and Danny had to say, and I think that you guys are both spot on. But you like to pump me to that that second level thinking, and it's kind of where I went with this today. Normally I reserve my second level thinking for baseball, but for me, 3 things that they have to do differently or improve upon from Giants to Falcons to be able to beat Atlanta. Number 1, they need to find a way to neutralize Vic Beasley. And it's not often that you focus on one player on the defensive side of the ball. You don't, maybe if it's a corner or a safety, you throw away from them, or, if it's a linebacker or a defensive end, defensive tackle, you don't run at them. But for me, if they can find a way to neutralize Vic Beasley, get him blocked up, they're going to have success moving the ball. To me, for as much as I've watched the Falcons this year, and we were talking about this before the show, Falcons have played 8 games, and for whatever reason, I've seen 7 out of their 8 games. Vic Beasley is, to me, is the entire cog of that defense. When Vic Beasley is playing well, that defense is tough. When he's not playing well or when he's quiet, you can put up a lot of points on them, and they have had some points scored on them this year. So my first thing is Vic Beasley. Focus on him, get him blocked up, and then let's, from there, second thing is let's make some smarter play calls, but not just the play calls, but the personnel packages. I think we need to see less of Darren Sproles as a ball carrier and more Kenyon Barner and Wendell Smallwood. I'd said on social media earlier this week, and I'll stick by it, I don't have a problem with Sproles getting snap count. I do have a problem with him getting 13, 15, 17, 19 carries a game.
Especially between the tackles.
Between the tackles, yeah. For me, the ideal usage for Sproles is probably 10 carries and 6 targets. I don't want any part of Ryan Matthews, though. I'm okay with Ryan Matthews in the red zone. Mm-hmm. If you want him to be exclusively your feature, red zone, short yardage, punch it in back, I'm cool with that. But if we're talking between the 20s, I want that explosiveness that you have when you run Wendell Smallwood and Kenyon Barner. There's a reason that these 2 guys are the 2 kickoff returners. Mm-hmm. And the Eagles, aside from the ball that Josh Huff brought back a couple weeks ago, the Eagles lead the league in kickoff return yardage. Nobody in the league even bothers returning kickoffs anymore. Mm-hmm. The Eagles have 2 for touchdowns this year, one of them by Wendell Smallwood. They got to get these guys more involved in the offense. Against the Giants, Smallwood, 2 carries for 25 yards. Barner, 1 for 3 and a touchdown. These kids need to play.
100%.
You need to find out what you have in Smallwood. You drafted this kid. Now, granted, he was a lower round draft pick. But if you are going to go into the offseason trying to decide whether you need to sign a free agent running back or you need to waste a high draft pick, and notice I did say waste a high draft pick on a running back.
But if you end up with a guy like in the late 20s somehow sitting out there like a Fournette, or somebody like that, can you really let him go?
But are you going to fill that need with a running back when you know you need a wide receiver to pair up with your?
Oh no, I agree.
With your first round draft pick from this year, you put yourself in a tough spot.
Yeah.
So I think you really got to get the better. You got to get better and get more diverse personnel packages. You got to get more Smallwood.
Speaking of, like you said, the diverse personnel packages. I watched the Bills run a play on 4th down, and I was just like, the Eagles need something like that in their offense. They had Gillislee lined up to the right, McCoy behind Taylor. Taylor took this. No, I'm sorry. McCoy was.
No, I know the play you're talking about.
Taylor got it.
Basically
handed it off and faked the pitch.
Right. They were basically in the pistol, but with the back offset to the right as well. And the
defense
faked the option,
flooded to McCoy.
They faked the option one way, and they came and ran the pitch
I could
the other
see
way.
the Eagles doing something. You have Matthews fake the pitch to Sproles, and then you could give it to Matthews, Barner. I would rather see it go Smallwood because I think he's the one that's going to bust it open. Right. Yeah. But when I watched that play call, I'm like, that's the difference right there. Like, creativity. Yeah. Adjust on the fly. You gotta play to your strengths, and there ain't many on the offensive side of the ball.
I agree completely. The third thing that I'm going to go with is I need less Leotis McKelvin and a lot more Jalen Mills. And I know
100%.
I already mentioned Jalen Mills once because I do think you're going to see a lot of him on Julio Jones. And I think it's not just physical ability with him and Julio Jones, but it's kind of like I don't give a shit who you are. I know I'm just a rookie, but I know that I'm good. And I'm going to get in your face for the entire game. Mm-hmm. I honestly feel like right now, the guys in that secondary that are going to be instrumental in shutting down this Atlanta passing attack are going to be Jalen Mills, Jalen Watkins, and Rodney McLeod. So I think what you're going to wind up seeing a lot of is Mills on Julio. You're going to see Nolan Carroll on Mohamed Sanu. And Mohamed Sanu, like, it's funny because I have Mohamed Sanu in a couple of fantasy leagues, and it's literally just he rides the bench every week unless I have an injury or a bye or something like that because I know he's going to be 5 for 70. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't care if you go 5 for 70 as long as you stay out of the end zone against my team. Mm-hmm. But you'll have Nolan Carroll on Sanu, and you're going to wind up having Malcolm Jenkins on Taylor Gabriel. So what's going to happen is your two deep safeties are going to become Jalen Watkins, McLeod, and then you'll have Mills on Julio Jones. Watching that Giants game last week, and especially being there, Leotis McKelvin, for whatever reason, looked lost. Mm-hmm. And this is a veteran guy who's been around. He's, I don't think there's anything these offenses are throwing at him that he hasn't seen before. Maybe he's lost a step. Maybe he's still injured. I don't know what it is because he played well early in the season, but right now he just seems like he's a little.
I think he played really well in the Cowboys game.
Agreed. I mean, did he get beat a couple times? Yeah, but every NFL corner gets beat. Mm-hmm. So those are my three things. And, obviously one of them, big focus on neutralizing a defensive player. The other two, maybe more common sense, but definitely more personnel-based as opposed to execution-based. Tommy asks the question all the time. Do the Eagles look like a 4-4 football team? Do you think they look like a 4-4 football team? I don't.
No, I mean, a lot of people are like they're a couple things away from being 6. I don't think they're a 6-1 football team. I would say 5-3. I would give them another win. They've done a lot mentally to shoot themselves in the foot. Talent-wise, the way the defense been playing, you've been in the games. You don't look like a 4-4 football team, but I don't think they're much better.
Okay. Robbie, what do you think, brother?
Well, the talent's there. It's just unpolished. And that's going to get polished, and you're seeing that in these latter games. But there's some reasons behind this, too, other than the Eagles. You pointed out earlier, and I'm going to repeat your words you didn't yet on the show, the Eagles have played 3 consecutive opponents that were coming off a bye week. Now, the Falcons, not a bye week, but
still 10 days rare.
Right. So the schedule makers are doing them no favors. Like they're not doing my boys on the ice any favors with all these back-to-back contests. But, I mean, that being said, though, within those games, you're talking about good secondaries. Or at least good secondary play. I wouldn't say the Cowboys have a good secondary, but they played a good game, right? Falcons do not have a good secondary. No. Not at all. And except that one corner that you mentioned.
Trufant, that's it.
Right? So I think they can expose. I think they can keep. I like the matchup between their offense and their all defense, right? Better than the Eagles defense versus the Falcons offense. As high potent as it is, Eagles will come to play. So do I think they have a shot to win this game? Yes, I do.
Well, that's what I was actually going to get into because I know I picked the Falcons to win 31-28. But I think if the Eagles are going to win this game, much like the Vikings game, it's got to be low scoring.
Right.
You can't get into a shootout. The Falcons get into every game is a shootout with the Falcons, and they seem to come out on top. The reason why they're 6-1?
Falcons?
Yeah.
Falcons are 6-3.
Oh, really?
They played 9 games.
6-3. But every game has been a shootout with them. I think in order to beat them, you can't get trapped into a shootout with them because they do have the more high-powered offense. I think the defense got to show up. You got to try to keep it low scoring.
Interesting, because Phillip Rivers got into a shootout with them and beat them. I mean, now he had to go to overtime to do it, but
we're talking about an offense with
Phillip
Rivers, Melvin Gordon, Antonio Gates, Tyrell Williams,
Hunter Henry, the whole deal. Yeah. So
we're talking about Carson Wentz and Darren Sproles.
Yeah, I agree. Interesting though. I know I'm totally gonna throw the mush on him now. I'm using Carson Wentz all over the place in FanDuel this week.
Really?
I think for the price with the matchup, I don't even think he is a sneaky play. I think he's a good play. And in fact, I actually paired him up with Zach Ertz. I paid down for Wentz and Ertz and went chalk in a bunch of other places, just hoping that Wentz and Ertz would be contrarian enough for me to cash.
And I think J-Matt's going to have a good game, fantasy speaking wise, because of that secondary. And a guy that I think the Eagles really need to utilize more and more. I love him, but they always stick with Ertz. Trey Burton. He makes great football moves, great football decisions.
But you know why? I've actually played Wentz a couple times this year on FanDuel, taking the cheaper. I was like, all right, he gets me $250 and 2. I'll take it. But why I've been staying away from him for the past couple of weeks is
he reversed the curse.
The red zone.
Yeah.
I don't even think he has a completion in the red zone. I actually got into an argument the other day with somebody, and you guys might completely disagree with me as well. I said, if you give me the option, right now, even though I love Wentz, I'm taking Mariota over Wentz.
I thought you were going to say you were taking Bradford over Wentz.
No. I'm taking Mariota over Wentz. And for one reason, two reasons actually. The legs add a dynamic to the game. And for Mariota's career right now, rookie year included, 27 red zone touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
No, and
that's something special.
Honestly, I can't argue with you on that. I like Marcus Mariota a lot. And when I see where he is today, if Chip would have got him last year, first off, I think if Chip would have got him last year, Chip would still be here.
100%.
So we may not even be having this discussion. But I do like Mariota a lot. So is there anything that the coaching staff can do to put Wentz in a better position to cash in the red zone?
Maybe target DGB. I mean,
maybe they need to take shots from further out.
Yeah,
open up the field a little bit more. Hard to say, but I know we're getting right up against it. I need to give my prediction, and I know it's the Nails lock of the week. I don't see it though, and I'm hoping to reverse the curse as well. But I will say this: right now, the line I believe is at like 51.5. I'm going way over. I think this game has the makings of like a 41-38 Falcons. I could see this game just being literally up, down, the whole day. It will be a fantasy football lover's delight. If you like offense, this is going to be the game to watch. If you like good, hard-hitting Eagle defense, you may want to stop back next week. Just say it. So, Mr. Povey, I do believe you are giving me the bat signal. Is that correct? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this evening's episode. Abbreviated a little bit, but we're kind of sailing without the captain here, so we're going to cut a little bit short. But for Nightman Dan, Sean Redden, Rob Povia on the ones and twos, the vacationing Tom Arnone, our sponsors. My name is Mike Mataraki. Thank you all very much for listening. We will be back not next week, but the following week with a big Thanksgiving Eve episode. And until then, go Eagles!